Hello everyone, it's Joel Davis with the United Medical Transportation Providers Group, and you are the broker.com, helping you to build a highly effective and highly profitable broker business. I want to brag on 3 client providers. I encourage you, watch this entire video because there's a couple little tidbits in here that are going to be golden nuggets of inspiration for many of you, so watch the whole thing. First client provider I want to talk about, if you watched one of the previous videos, it was about an hour and 12 or 15 minutes long. It was that conference call where we were discussing hiring an executive for her NEMT business. I'm very pleased and proud to say that we were successful. We had we crafted a very targeted NDA, and then we crafted a very targeted, very protective, incentive-based contract that definitely helps, benefits, and protects my client provider, but also this person is coming on for the position that we call Director of Business Development. So what's phenomenal about that is we structured it in such a way that first and foremost, it's a 90-day probationary period. So if the guy's not worth his weight in salt after 90 days, or even before then, we could terminate him, get rid of it. If he doesn't like it, he could leave too. At the end of 90 days, we have the one of two options. We can either extend it for another 90 days in its current form with the current terms, or we can go right to augmenting and making the contract a full-time option. Again, it's great because he's being paid a base salary, really working part-time. The rest is all incentive-based. So it's productivity-based, so it's awesome. So what's really good for my client provider is that she is a very hard-working woman. She's burning both ends of the candle. She's digging that ditch. She's doing a good job building the business, but she's at a point in time where she's teetering. And this contract, bringing on this Director of Business Development, can really help tip the scales in her favor, where now she can really start to achieve exponential growth if things work out. So again, based upon his track record for his previous employer, who he was with long term, helped them extensively in their home care business, helped them build their NEMT business. Why they let him go, I will never know. Hopefully I will find out at some point in time, but I really don't know. Supposedly it was because of layoffs due to COVID-19, but if this guy is your money maker and your business builder, that's the last person you let go. But regardless, as the old saying goes, one man's loss, another man's gain. Hey, we're going to take it. So hopefully things are going to work out. I mentioned in that previous video that every single time I've seen a business owner think that they're just going to hire someone and pawn off responsibilities to them that should be, at least in the early stages of the business, should be applied to the business owner. Every time I've seen that, it's always flopped. It's always failed. But I really think there's a great opportunity for this client provider because she's not being lazy. She's not looking to pawn off any responsibilities. She just wants to augment and duplicate what she's already doing. So it's really a great opportunity. And hopefully this guy will work out well because it's a great opportunity for him, especially long term. Not only could he make more money with her, especially as she diversifies into other things, we could leverage him to really be a part of that and actually have some ownership interest as well. So that's a great opportunity. Second client provider I want to talk about is actually, it resonates well with me, and I know it does with many of you because this guy is A, starting with humble beginnings, B, he's facing haters and threats internally and externally. He is married, so he's full-time husband, has 4 kids, so he's a full-time dad. He and his family are actually, in order to cut costs, remain humble, stay focused, they're actually living at home with their parents, starting the business out of their living room, operating the business out of the living room. Many of you have done it. The difference is there's 16 people living in this house. So he does have siblings and their families. So 16, as in 1-6, as in the number that comes right after 15. That's a whole heck of a lot of people, especially when you're trying to run a business out of there. So as I told him, there's only one word that could possibly describe that entire situation, and it is love. L-O-V-E, because I would go insane with 16 people that would fall on me like that. But God bless him. But there's a reason why I share his story with you. Based upon his notes, something that resonates with me, and I know it will with many of you. He said, secondly, I want to be a legitimate NEMT company that is reputable in my community. He said, quote, even though I employ my brother and I have 3 vans, I'm still a very small business. I'm small time. My friends and family see this, so they don't take my business serious. Like what I'm doing is a joke or just a business that I will fail at. That's powerful. They are expecting this. I want to prove them wrong. I'll say that last part again. He said, my friends and family see this, so they don't take my business serious. Like what I'm doing is a joke or just a business that I'll fail at. They're expecting this. I want to prove them wrong. That's why I share this scenario with you, because I love some haters. I love haters. They come in all shapes, sizes, forms, and relationships. I love competitors who are haters. I love the haters on the street. Friends who are haters. Like when I was first launching my NEMT business and I'd go to functions and I'd see my boys, guys who I played college ball with and everything, they'd be like, so what, you're like a taxi driver or something? And I'm like, yeah, but not so much. Because no one understands what NEMT is, you know? So people just kind of poo-poo you, whatever. But family, those closest to you tend to sip the haterade the most. I mean, it is what it is. And some of you understand that. Here's my point to all this. There's someone right now watching this. You're starting it. You're thinking of starting it. But someone in your family, close friends, someone close to you, nah, you can't do it. Nah, that's stupid. You shouldn't do it. There's going to be people telling you, who's this international sex symbol, this beautiful fat bald guy that you keep watching on YouTube? No. Avoid him, man. He's scheming you. There's going to be haters. They sipping that drink. They're drinking that cold beverage called haterade. Be very weary of what you allow into your mind. Be very weary of the noise that you allow. There's a lot of noise out there. Be very weary. Haters come in all shapes and sizes. If at the end of the day, all you can rely on is God and you got a strong dynamic duo, you're going to be fine. Case in point, last year in 2019, case in point, while everyone's hating on him, everyone's doubting him, he only has 3 vehicles. I get it. That's not huge. Doesn't matter. He's at 45.4% margin. That's awesome. I always tell people as a minimum you want to strive for 25. The closer you get to 40, if you get to 40, man, you're doing exceptionally well. And the next client provider I'm going to share with you underscores this point. But last year he was at 45.4%. This year he's on track at 38.9%. He's there. He's there. I told him all we got to do is take what you're doing right now. We got to reshape it a little bit because there's a couple of things, a couple of flaws to a system. We got to reshape it and we got to start to scale it. And the scaling is important because A, we want to make more money, but we have to be very wary, very cautious in how we move forward and how we scale, because we don't want to increase in volume and margins go down, which is always a possibility, especially when you don't have a good strategic plan of implementation. We have to be very smart, very sound, strategically and tactically. We want to grow and scale, and we want the margins to increase proportionally. They don't always do that. But again, this year, he's already at, what did I say here? Where are my numbers? 38.9%. He's right there. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. So, again, there's some of you watching us right now. You're weary. You're intimidated by the humble beginnings. Don't be. Humble beginnings make for phenomenal stories. Love it. There's going to be haters inside and out. There's always going to be threats inside and out. You can't deal with that. I would tell you, go get a safe job, punch your time clock, do what you got to do, stay away from entrepreneurship. That first client provider, many of you met her down in Atlanta at a roundtable gathering. This third client provider who I want to brag on, many of you are going to meet her at the end of next month down in Orlando. Here's what I love about it. There's so many things I could brag about. Tell you what I love about this one. She literally purchased this business on the cheap, got a steal of a deal in the middle of 2018. So she's coming up on her 2-year anniversary. This is phenomenal. Phenomenal story. I love this one. So she purchased it on the cheap. So in 2018, she brought in pennies below $189,000. And it was only a half a year. I don't remember if it was July or June when she bought it. But regardless, half a year, she brought in, let's say, $189,000. She had 19.2% margin. So that's below the standard of where we want to be, right? So she's below target. Not a problem. Only half a year. Only half a year. So she brought in 189. Now, let's look at her first full calendar year, which was 2019. Again, so many of you are going to meet her the end of next month down in Orlando. The last year, 2019, her first full calendar year, she brought in just over $705,000. 46.7% margin. I'm going to say it again. She started the business, the previous owner started in 2011. She bought it on the cheap. Previous owners clearly had no business acumen. She got it on the cheap, got a steal of a deal, had no prior experience at NEMT. 2018, she had almost $189,000 with 19.2% margin. Last year was the first full calendar year. She's at $705,000+ at 46.7% margin. So this will be 2019 with a COVID-19 bogus, laughably ridiculous, and overreacted to pandemic. She is on track to make $1,007,000 with 51% margin. 51% margin. Now, let me tell you the most beautiful thing about it. Here's the most beautiful thing about it. I love it, love it, love it. Here's the most beautiful thing about it. She did it all with 6 vehicles. I said 6. I didn't say 5. I didn't say 7. I didn't say 16. I said 6. As in one finger more than the other hand. 6 vehicles she did it with. But here's what's key. Here's what's key. Well, Joel, how many minivans did she have? None. She did it all with full-size vans. That a single minivan. I know so many of you watching this are so upset. Joel, I don't agree with that. How many client providers have I worked with? No, well, guess what? My competitors are using minivans, Joel. I've had people who have retained my services, and I'm going to tell them that you want to be focused on capacity, capacity, capacity. Not with these slick car salesmen who want to tell you, oh no, get the minivans, it's going to bring down your fuel and your maintenance stuff. The minivans are not made for commercial use, but even more so, it's about capacity. Joel, you're absolutely wrong. Really? This is textbook Joel Davis Playbook 101 that she has deployed. Look at her numbers. Joel, you're lying. No, okay, I'm a liar. I'm a bold-faced liar. What about her numbers? Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Her numbers are absolutely phenomenal. All with 6 vehicles. How about the people out there who buy into the $7,000 crash-tested wheelchairs, fancy, and all this kind of stuff? They levitate. Really? What's your ROI on those? Not that I'm against them. They work. They're phenomenal. People love them. Numbers. How many times have I said in previous videos you make decisions on the margins? Numbers. You let your numbers work for you. How about the people who buy the $15,000, the $20,000, the $25,000 stretchers? What's your ROI on that? What do your numbers say on that? I wonder. How many of those 7,000 crash-tested, levitating wheelchairs, the $25,000 stretchers does she deploy? Oh, because she does wheelchairs and stretchers with six full-time, full-size vehicles. And she's on track this year to break $1 million, which will only be her second full year in business. I asked her when we were talking, I said, by any chance did you watch the video I put out where I was on the board and I broke things down for you for liability? She said, absolutely. Here's what she said. She said, quote, yes, this being that video, yes, this was actually the video that made me decide I really need to talk to you. I know business, but I want to know Warren Buffett type business. Now that is one heck of a compliment. Warren Buffett, his bank account is fatter than mine, but I got a fatter body, which makes me sexier. So I love, that's awesome. Did you see that video that I put out there? Quote, yes, this was actually the video that made me decide I really need to talk to you. I love it. You took action. Love it. I know business, but I want to know Warren Buffett type business. And since then, we've obviously continued to have great conversations. But again, I love it because here it is. She's deploying textbook Joel Davis 101. Make your decisions on the margin. You don't need all the bells and whistles. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, of those 6 vehicles, Joel, they're new, all brand new. She's carrying large notes on them. No, actually, she's not. No, actually, she's not. In fact, some of those vehicles are exceptionally old, much older than I would have liked, but I don't care because they're still running exceptionally well. She already had them. It was part of the purchase. Okay, she's not carrying notes. And as we talked about in some of the other videos, especially during a pandemic like this, it underscores the point of why you don't want to get the newest and greatest and latest bells and whistles, all the high-priced fancy things that you get when you go to all the conventions with all the barking seals and all the lanyards, and they try to upsell you and convince you of why you need a $50,000 vehicle, and you need to be paying $3,000 a month for software systems, why you need a $25,000 stretcher, why you need a $7,000 crash-tested levitating wheelchair, and then you have to try to find a way to make money with it. You don't put a square peg into a round hole. This client provider that many of you will meet the next month, the reason why she's slamming, why she's doing exceptionally well, textbook 101, Joel Davis, I support everything she's doing, making the decisions on the margin, but she's not trying to put a square peg into a round hole. The demand is there. She's cultivating and answering the call for the demand. There's many of you right now who are watching this and you are just loving Logisticare. Guess what? She does a little Logisticare. She does a little Southeast Trans. Guess what? Only 35% of her revenue is Medicaid. Only 35%. The majority of it is private pay. Of the 35%, guess how much of it is on contract? None. Zero. Everything she does it out of network, which means the broker's got to pay her a premium. She names her rates, and they got to pay it. If they don't like it, she tells them, get this step, and I don't have time for you. How about all of you in Illinois right now? So many of you in Illinois right now struggling. The struggle is real. Guess what? Oh, it's real. It's real up in Illinois for sure. North Carolina. They want to bring in those brokers hardcore. You guys are staying resistant, which I like and love. But so many of you have enslaved yourselves up in the communist state of Illinois. Now I get it. Many of you already canceled, deleted, opted out of this video. I've offended you because you love your brokers. You're 95% broker based. You got your minivans. Why? Well, because they were cheaper on gas, because your brother-in-law told you followed the brother-in-law advice, or your competitors are all using minivans. Have you checked out the P&Ls of your competitors? So all of the client providers out there why am I having to argue with you over what you need, what you want? Well, my competitors are all using this. Why didn't you retain their services? Why are you contacting me? Do you know what their P&Ls look like? For all you know, they're on the verge of going broke. But I can tell you this, nothing warms my heart more when I see something like this. This client provider who's slamming it, banging it, gonna make over $1 million this year with 6 full-time, full-size vans, not minivans, because she understands capacity. The minivans, they don't have the longevity. They can't withstand the wear and tear because they're simply not made for commercial use. Go get in one single accident and tell me that thing's gonna drive off because that's made for commercial use. It ain't gonna happen. Trust me, I got plenty of client providers who've experienced that problem firsthand. It's about capacity, making your decisions on the margin, not listening to the competitors and all the barking seals who try to tell you what you need. What do you need? Listen to your numbers. If you listen to your numbers, like this client provider, there's only one possible thing I can do. See you at the top.